Good and Grown podcast. I am your host, Allison. Please help me welcome my co-host all the way from Los Angeles, California, D-Lay.
What's up, good people?
I also have with me comedian extraordinaire Jay Reed from Las Vegas.
What's poppin', everybody?
And my sister from another mister, the fabulous and beautiful Royce Reed, right here in Orlando, Florida.
What up?
All right, so in normal circumstances, we would like to all be doing this live together and everything, but because of COVID-19, we unfortunately cannot do that at this time. We are abiding by all rules, making sure that we are social distancing, quarantining, and doing all those fabulous things. While we are on the topic of quarantine, I have been very curious to know, Jay Reed, what it is like, because you are the only one in this cast that is married. What
Yeah.
is it like quarantining with your wife? I mean, has it helped or hurt your relationship? Are you in a good place? Are you ready to social distance yourself?
Well, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bad and a little good. You get a chance to really learn that person because being married. Everybody has things that they're doing in their lives. My wife goes to work. You know, does her job. I go do my thing when she gets home. I go to the comedy clubs and stuff at night. So there's always that distance that we have. From each other throughout the day. So when the pandemic hit. You didn't get a chance to have that distance. Y'all got to be right up under each other all the time.
Right.
So that part is it takes a lot to get used to that. Because I think everybody in a relationship want their space some kind of way, but COVID made it seem like you didn't have any type of space at all. Everybody just right up under each other. So that's challenging. So if you're married out there, especially married, people that just got married and really don't understand each other the way that you need to understand each other to be married, you're gonna have a lot of problems, and we had our issues and everything, but we good now, we Gucci.
So you
Good
you
answer.
are you are locked down in love. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that because there
Good
are
answer.
some people who
I
are
do.
right now locked down and not so much in love, like Kim and Kanye, for example. Um, I don't know if necessarily the pandemic had anything to do with that, or
No,
I
it's
mean,
Kanye. He just crazy.
well, I mean, I mental health is a real issue, and I don't want to make complete light of the situation, but um, I'm glad that people are starting to speak more on that issue and really make it relevant and understood that it is a real circumstance that some people are battling. Royce, what are your thoughts on that? On mental issues and maybe even Kim Kanye specifically.
Well, I'm not going to speak on specifics with Kim and Kanye because I'm not in their house. I'm not in their bed. I don't know exactly what is going down with them. I will say that mental health is a real issue, and I think, especially within our culture, is something that we don't discuss. I mean, even getting help in our culture isn't looked at as something that's necessary. Like, why you need to go and talk to somebody else about your feelings?
Right.
That's how we were brought up. That's how our parents were brought up. I think now it's definitely being spoken about more, and I'm happy to see that people are getting help because it's been spoken about publicly by him. I do know that Kanye suffers from that. I do believe that he's been getting help, but everybody definitely have those moments.
Right.
And I mean, it just comes down to who's in his corner. And, you know, if he's willing to accept the fact that, he needs help continuously and it's not just something that is going to change overnight.
Can I can
Absolutely.
I add can I ask a question on that real quick? Because
Of
Royce, I
course.
wanted to talk. I wanted to ask. I wanted to chime in on that. Do you think it's necessary for married couples to seek counseling? Because just how Royce just said, sometimes you don't want all people all in your business like that. You kind of afraid to go out there and share your information with other people. It's like that's kind of the way I feel about marriage counseling. It's like, how can you tell me how to live with somebody that you never ever lived with? You know what I'm saying? So I don't really
Because
feel comfortable with marriage counseling because of that. It's like, and I just want to ask, is that something that a lot of people go through? A lot of people have in their mind, in the back of their minds?
well, I've never been married. However, I've always promised myself that within a relationship, I would not discount um, speaking to someone else or the need to speak to someone else, because when you have that outside ear, someone on the outside looking in, you don't always see your faults. You're so
Mm.
stuck in your ways, and your partner's so stuck in their ways. When someone else on the outside looking in and can tell you, like, this is what I see, it kind of forces you to look in that mirror. Whereas, you might just kind of be seeing past it.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
I
I
agree.
think I think that counseling just kind of would give you some tools maybe to help, try and save the relationship or the marriage, in that sense. I don't think that they're necessarily specifically trying to tell you what it is that you should be doing or this person should be doing. It's kind of just a guide, to help out and maybe, like Roy said, see some of the problems that you may be causing yourself or dealing with
Yeah.
yourself, but
seeking
yeah,
tools.
I mean, it's basically, like you're kind of paying one of, the homies to kind of tell you or advise you. I mean, but you have to take it for what it is,
Eh,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
make those decisions yourself in the at the
I
end
hear
of.
what you're saying. I'm sorry. I hear what you're saying. I just think that maybe sometimes for men, it's like I think that there's a sense especially if you have like a female counselor, like I think that there's going to be some bias in there
Bias.
because it's
Mhm.
like you don't totally understand a man and how he feels in certain situations. So there's going to be a sense of biasness in there in a way. Like
Well,
I guess maybe that's just a fear of mine. Maybe that's just a fear. I mean, counseling.
there's some cases where when you go to couples counseling, you're with another couple. Um, I definitely think those tend to work better when you're going to counseling with another couple.
Yeah.
That is their field. This is what they do, but they're doing it as a couple, because then you can see where the man is coming from, and he can speak to you as well as your wife or your significant other, and then vice versa. So you're getting both. You know.
I totally disagree. Absolutely, 100% disagree.
So
And let me tell
why
you,
is that, D?
I'm glad you asked. I did not think you would ask me. I was just sitting there waiting for you to ask me. Let me tell you something. First of all, the last thing you want to do in a relationship. Now, this is coming from somebody who has tried out marriage and failed it successfully. Okay, this is something from somebody who knows how this goes. I've tried that out. This is not what you want to do, fellas. If you do what Royce is telling you to do, what you're doing is you're trying to mirror the relationship that's in front of you, and your wife gonna be,
Yes.
look how you doing. Look at him. See, he buy her roses and shit. Look at that.
Look
See
how
how I
happy
open the
they
door.
are together.
No, that's not true.
Go in there by yourself with that woman. And let me tell you
Right.
something. Go get real counseling. Don't go ask your uncle because he's been married 30 years. Go get somebody that got paperwork behind their name, some initials behind their name. Go get a real counselor. Sit your ass down and listen to what that man or that woman got to say. Now, Jay, you made a very important point. If it's a woman, she may be leaning towards, that. If it's a man, so how about this? Let's fix that, Jay Reed. You go get your transgender counselor, Jay Reed. You go get you a transgender counselor. So you right down the goddamn middle with it.
I might end up
Okay.
having to counsel them.
I still think counseling works. I'm gonna stick with that.
Honestly, if it were my situation,
All right,
I
bro. All right. Let me ask you something, Allie. Okay, Allie. Just for
yes,
the sake of this, just for the sake of the conversation, let's
yes.
role play. You and I are the couple going into therapy, and Jay and Royce are the other couple therapy that's in therapy. Now let's just watch how it goes. Now, Allie, they've been going. Let me just set the grounds for it. They've been going to couples therapy for 2 months. This is our first time in there. They seem to have the ropes. We struggling with our relationship. They've got over the struggle part. and we're here. Okay, Royce, kick it off. I don't want to be here. First of all, as the man,
We
big dog,
don't
I know
want
you
to
don't
be
want to be.
there. Yeah. We
I know
do
you don't want
not
to be
want to
here.
be there.
No, you don't. We just in this
Well,
thing.
first
Game
question,
on.
I gotta waste
why
all my
don't you
money
want to
doing
be
this.
here? Because do you not want to be here because of the stigma that follows behind
No,
us, our culture, talking to
I don't want to be here because the
I
game
don't want
on.
to be. I want to be because I know what the problem is. I know what the issue is. I done already told you what my issue is to you. That's why I don't
and
want to
how
be
are you
there.
dealing with that issue? Tell me how that's working out for you. Is the way that you're dealing with that issue working because you're here? So
No,
clearly it's
because
not.
I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get you to change something that I'm not liking about you. So you're not
Okay,
doing it. So that's why we're here in the first place. Because I'm trying to get
exactly.
you
So
as
now
here.
you know why we're here. But you just said that you don't think
You
we need to
because
be here,
you.
but you know we're here because of that. So
You know
you
what?
got some issues too,
I
sir.
think I'm gonna need therapy for therapy. After
Right?
listening to y'all, I'm gonna
Okay.
need therapy for therapy.
I would be telling you, delay, baby. I mean, maybe we tripping. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it really
See,
ain't
We
that
good.
bad.
Maybe
But
you
other,
tripping.
other
that
You
helps.
tripping.
That helps then. That just helped y'all. Like, we ain't that bad, guys.
right. So we
Yes,
good.
let's just go home. See,
See
we
and see
helped you.
and see
You're welcome. And
and
see,
Royce,
you're welcome.
right there, and right there proves my point. Right there proves my point. We have to sit in there in another therapy, in a therapy session with another couple and listen to their bullshit. We got enough bullshit. We
Right.
don't want to listen to their stuff. Hey, bring us in there and you take that $125
I
and you
wasn't
cancel us.
saying going to a session where
No,
it's
honestly,
a couple headaches.
what I was saying is that like, um, if I ever had to do counseling with my significant other, I would probably seek it through my pastor, just because
I
I
don't
love my
like your
pastor.
pastor. What about
Definitely
I
like
not
don't
your
do
trust.
pastor?
that.
I don't,
I'm definitely
I
I
don't
don't
not
go to
doing
trust
your
him.
that.
congregation.
Absolutely
That's
He
not.
baptized you.
congregation.
He done
And
baptized me.
I
He
know,
baptized you.
and I mean that
Your
literally.
pastor's not authorized to put hands on me.
He's
To
like,
come
you
on,
ain't
you can't
wrong.
pray for me.
No.
Your pastor can't pray for me. He's not authorized to pray for me.
He's not authorized.
He's not authorized.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you can't
gosh.
just be
Okay.
baptizing people.
Okay. I guess we could go on and on about this. I mean, we had this is crazy. Um, with all of the craziness going on
We're just gonna eat
in
a
the world
banana
right
right on
now,
set.
one of the
Right on
topics
set,
that
huh?
is just literally blowing my mind is the discussion about Joe Biden, President Biden's dogs, not looking presidential.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
first
found
of
it,
all, I don't follow dogs like that. Okay, the only
yes,
dog I follow is Lassie. That's the only dog I've ever followed in my life. Okay, now I don't know about President Biden's dog. I don't know about Obama's dog. Okay, I just know about I know about Biden. I follow Biden, but I don't follow his dog like that.
And
Hey,
I
you know
love
what?
What kind
animals,
of
but
dog? Is it
I
a
don't
purse
even know,
dog? What kind
like,
of dog do we got?
he has two German shepherds. Their names are Champ and Major.
I didn't know that.
Okay,
I didn't
okay,
know nothing about that.
here's
tell
my problem with the situation. Why out of all 46 presidents, you ain't never had a pit bull? Ain't nobody had a pit bull in the White House. Not one pit bull ever in the White House. Not one. Now, my problem
is
with Joe
that your
Biden,
pet? That's why.
you
Right.
need a real damn watchdog in there. You got a lot of stuff going on in the White House. You need a real watchdog. And now
German
I'm not
shepherds aren't a watchdog. I mean, they are
listen, I don't
very
have a problem with his dog.
intelligent, strong
Allie,
breed.
I don't have a problem with his dogs. I have a problem with his dogs' names. The name's too white. The name's too white.
Well, D, like
Black the names
he
up a little bit.
is a
Black the
Caucasian
name.
man.
Huge
Give
Not
Caucasian.
even
dogs
meaning nothing.
dog names. I'm sick of people giving dogs human names. Larry is a nigga name. Okay, Larry is not a name for a dog. Okay, Larry, Arthur, James. This your uncle's name. All of them is your uncle's name. Name dog name. Butch, Old Yeller,
Spike.
Lassie,
Well, my
Spike.
dog's names are Blue, LJ, which is little Janet,
LJ. This is Larry Johnson. Your dog
little
named Larry
Janet,
Johnson.
Okay.
little Janet,
Dog got the first day, the last day, Larry Johnson.
and Gizmo.
Man, let me tell you something. I know a
Willie
lady that
Earl is
has
the
a
name of his
dog.
dog.
Real talk. I know a lady with a dog. The dog has a real name. It's a prestige name. The dog name is Cody Winters the third. The
Hmm,
third.
The
not the
third.
third.
Now, here's the problem with the third. That's the first damn dog. That's the first dog. Ain't no second. Ain't no senior. It's just the
Like,
third. He the first
this
one. How you the first
boy.
one
What's your
and your
dog's
name
name,
third?
Allison?
My puppy's name is Coco.
Okay, that's a good
Yes,
dog name.
with
That's
an
a
A
good
at
dog
But
the
is
name.
end.
your dog Coco color? You got a like
She
Right.
a is the
is.
dog hair blonde? You call it
She
Coco?
is. She is. She
See
is.
there?
She's
See,
a.
my
See there?
cat's names are Simba, Panda, and Ace,
Simba. First
Now
of all,
see why you
Simba, that
naming
got
the
to be a
dog.
and
lion.
Eris.
You need to own
Oh,
a
and
lion
That's a
for
Eris.
that.
lion. That is
That's a
definitely a
lion. That
lion.
is not a cat.
That is
A
definitely.
lion, a tiger, or a liger is one of the is one of them.
Simba's brown.
Okay, so I
If
have a
you
question for everybody. Let's discuss the vaccine because I, for one, think this is a
I ain't
very
taking it.
very important topic and it's very controversial in the Black community, especially, and just amongst minorities. I can totally understand why the Tuskegee experiment has us, you know, kind of hesitant. But at the same time, I think that Dr. Kissy, who is the NIH lead scientist on the vaccine, on the Moderna vaccine, is fantastic. If you have not heard her speak, I highly recommend it because she was extremely informative. She's about it sister who knows her uh, medicine and science very well. She's very thorough. She broke it down extremely well, and I felt more and more comfortable with it. But I'm curious just to see what you guys take is on the
I
vaccine.
I I hear a lot of doctors saying a lot of different things, and to me, I just feel like don't nobody really know still. You know, I
Well,
think it's
one
still
thing that
too
we do
new.
know is that there have been, as of today, there have been absolutely no fatalities due to the vaccination,
How would do we
which
know
is
that
great.
for sure?
how do we
Because
know
I
that?
saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of
There,
people
there,
Harlem
there have
shaking it
been
in the
none.
set. They can't stop shaking. I can't. What about those people? What happened
My
to them?
parents got it and
That's
they're
not
doing fine. My godparents got it, they're doing fine.
But everybody that I'm actually on the wait list to get mine. But everybody that I know who has gotten it has had absolutely no symptoms, and they've all
But
been
that's
perfectly fine.
but
The
that's
only the
right.
only thing
But
that I know is like they said after the second shot your arm hurts.
Right?
okay,
second shot.
but yeah,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
gotta
for
take
some
two
of them
shots.
the
too.
second shot.
You
Depends
gotta
on
take
which one
two.
you get.
I'm, let me tell you something.
But here's
You're gonna have that shot. I'm not totally sold on it. That damn shot. I've heard some side effects. Y'all mess around and be doing the goddamn June bug challenge for life because y'all talk the challenge up.
I saw a lady doing
What's
that,
wrong? I took
man.
the
She
vaccine.
can't stop shaking. Yeah.
I
So
took
here's
the
my thing.
vaccine.
So okay, so
Here's my thing,
I
Allie.
guess the fellas are opposed to it. Royce
Right.
and I.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Allie. It's like everybody we talking about right now, but what happens 5 years down the line when the stuff that we don't even know what's in that vaccine? How is it going to harm us 5 years down the line? How's it going to harm us 10 years down the line? Like we got all
Right.
these flu vaccinations and all of these HPV vaccinations. Like we've done research on this over the last 15, 20 years. So those vaccinations that they gave for like the flu shot and all that, we know what it does to the human body. We don't know what this vaccination is going to do to the human body in the next 5 years. Everybody might be walking around like this in the next 5 years, but all the people got the vaccination. We don't know. That's what I'm worried
Yep.
about. It's like what's going to happen long term
Okay,
because
so if you
everybody talk
actually
about the short term right now.
yeah, but if you actually get the virus and you don't even
I take
live
my
through
chances.
those 5 years, then
I
you ain't
take
got
my
nothing to worry
chances.
about.
You
I
take a
look at it
chance
like
the
this.
virus day, really?
I'm
I've
at
never
COVID
been on
already,
board.
so
I've never been on board or one that understood the notion of I'm gonna give you the disease so you don't catch the disease.
right.
All right, you don't have nothing right now. Ain't nothing wrong with you. What I want to do is I want to get your immune system built up to this disease, so you don't have to worry about the disease. So come on, how about this? Let me do my thing as far as building my own immune system. I'm gonna put the right herbs in my body. I'm gonna put the right sea moss. I'm gonna put the elderberry. I'm gonna put the burdock in my body, and just do this before any of this stuff even transpire, and have my immune system built up where I want it. The last thing I'm gonna do is take an unknown, which I know the FDA takes years to approve a drug. Years. Now, it's a certain situation where you can escalate causes, but that fast? Really? You mess around in 2 years, you have a fist coming out your throat, and that's just the work, that's the normal growth pattern and the side effects of this vaccine. I'm not for it. And if it's so dominant, if it's so A1, why the president ain't got on TV and took the shot? You the leader of the free world. Get on and don't just get some syringe and just stick it in your arm. Let us get a bona fide doctor that the public trusts and you trust, and let's
No,
do
he has
let's do it like
today. He
everything.
has.
I was about to say he
He
had.
He got
has.
on. No, he got the
That's not
shot,
what I
but
said. I said
we didn't see it go in his arm. We just
I,
saw
Oh
it
my
go
I'm,
in
I'm
his
God,
talking
arm.
about
y'all in these like conspiracy theories.
that's not a conspiracy theory. You could take a syringe and inject it into your arm and inject motherfucking Kool-Aid in your shit. That don't mean that you got the shot.
So y'all want to see it actually be made and it put in the actual syringe.
Yes,
Right. It's
that's what
not.
I
It's
want to
not
see.
like
Roll
you
it over.
have access
Don't
to
glitch.
get in the room
Don't
with the
cut to
president.
commercial. Like let it go directly, and y'all want to see it in his bloodstream. Y'all want all that.
Right. I
I
mean,
want to see it go straight from the
how is
pharmaceutical
anybody
company
ever
to
be
your
able
arm.
to
That's what I want to
fix
see.
that?
My
I
thing
want to see it
is,
go.
as far as certain vaccinations, I think are necessary. There's others that I'm kind of like, okay, these kids are soft. Example, I don't know about y'all, but I grew up where everybody got chickenpox.
Yeah,
And
I
if
had
your
chicken pox.
cousin
Yeah,
had it and you hadn't gotten it yet, we finna go play together. Rub up on each other so you can
go
catch
get
it
it.
too now. You
Go
know what I'm
get
saying? Like,
it.
that's the era I come from versus now it's like, give them a shot. You know? So there's certain things where I'm kind of like, if you know that you build immunity to it after you get it, then why not do that? Especially if it's not necessarily like life threatening. You know?
What if
I
you did the
agree.
thing?
I mean,
What if you,
I totally
Yeah.
can see where you're coming from with that. But I heard somebody mention the HPV vaccine, and I'm like, are you guys? Where are we on that issue? Because
let me
I
see that's my thing with the whole vaccination thing. What happened to this quick vaccination when AIDS was killing our population? What happened to this vaccination when it was just masses of people? Like, what happened? AIDS. What happened to this vaccination? We not thinking, and it has nothing to do with conspiracy theories. Why is it being forced on us so heavily right now? Okay, because we got
I think
500,000 people dead.
because
I got you. Hold on. I know what you're gonna say because you got 500,000 people dead. That's why you got to do that. Well, bottom line is we were going to get to the number, and we're going to get to 1,000,000. Let me just go and be frank with you. We're going to get to 1,000,000. We're going to get to 1,000,000 because all this stuff, everything is orchestrated. This ain't just a germ. Where did this come from? This shit is all orchestrated, and it has nothing to do with being a conspiracy theorist. It has everything to do with opening your eyes and realize what's exactly in front of you. Why is all of a sudden a vaccination being produced this fast for this?
well,
We've
first
had
of
plenty of
all,
things
and
that came
still,
out.
coronavirus has been
and
around
still not
long
even
before
approved.
2019, 2020. It's been around longer than that. It's just now becoming a serious issue, which has caused us to be in this pandemic. But coronavirus is not new.
No,
Oh,
Okay,
but coronavirus
even
was
more.
made.
what?
COVID
Go ahead.
19.
Okay.
COVID-19 is different. That's
And
COVID.
it's
It
because
started.
how contagious it is.
but also we have to understand that like the AIDS pandemic happened. You know what?
In
I
the
mean,
'80s.
it
In the
became
'80s.
very talked about in
Mainstream.
the forefront
Yeah.
mainstream.
And
Thank
the
you.
way it's transmitted is different
You
as
know, during the early '90s, here we are. You know, I mean, we're talking about 20 something years later,
well.
and so medicine has definitely evolved.
Absolutely.
You know, so that may be one of the reasons too, that you know, and then we didn't have social media either back then, D.
Mhm.
So things were not circulated and given to us, you know, so quickly back then. Information now comes, I mean, you know, Kobe was in his fatal plane or
Right.
helicopter accident, and you know, within 2 seconds people knew about it, you know, even maybe before even his wife got wind of it, you know what I mean? So things are just moving so much faster
And
now.
And
even when
I
you're
hear what
talking
y'all.
about the HIV thing, like you also have to realize with that there's still no cure. However, because medicine has evolved, there are very few people who are now dying, you know,
Right.
of AIDS. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
it's HIV and they're taking their medication. I mean, the simple fact that we have commercials for HIV and, like to make it non-detectable.
Right.
This is crazy that we have commercials like that.
Yeah.
Royce, they
It's
can't say that they're gonna cure it. You can't say that. The minute you say it's cured, we can't make no more money. Of course, you're gonna stress
I
this thing
understand
out.
that.
Oh
I'm just
yeah,
saying
You're
we
never
all
gonna
agree
say
on
we have a
the
cure for
evolution
coronavirus.
of it. I'm saying the
You're
evolution.
never gonna say there's a cure. That word is not even spoken of in the medical field. You have treatments. Nobody's going to cure anything. And as long as you're gonna have this whole terminology of cure, this whole shit is gonna always last. There'll be another germ, there'll be another disease
And
because
I get
nobody wants
that.
to cure it. It's
I get that.
profitizing
I
on
understand
medicine.
that.
yeah. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah, I get that.
Hmm.
So what makes it so different with the COVID virus then? It's like because there's a reason why the FDA still has not approved this vaccine yet. They haven't approved it yet. They're allowed to administer this vaccine just because of the global pandemic, but it's not approved by the FDA yet. So why is that if everything is so cool with this vaccine?
I mean
Good question.
that's a
Boy,
great
y'all
question.
quiet in the mug on this one.
No,
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that's a good question, but I mean, I don't know all the logistics that go behind something being approved. I don't know if there's a time frame. I don't know if there's like a certain list that it has to be checked off on. I don't know that. I don't know if a certain amount of people have to take it and side effects. I don't know all of that. So I can't speak on a why when I don't know what it takes for it to actually happen.
It has to go through a clinical trial first, and they have to approve it through a clinical trial. They're not that. That's the thing. Is like that's why I say I'm not taking it because everything is rushed. They didn't even have a chance to go through this whole clinical trial to even see if this vaccine works. They just threw this vaccine out. And if something happens where you die or you get something like you paralyzed or something from this vaccine, you can't
They're
even
not
sue
liable.
anybody.
They're not
They're not
liable.
liable. You
Yeah.
can't even sue. So it's
Now,
something like I would just rather wait.
is everyone's kids, are they homeschooling or virtual learning right now, or do your kids go in?
It all depends on where you at in the country. Like my sister's kids, they're back in school. They've been back in school for like months now. But my kids are still homeschooled. So it
Braylon's
just
homeschooled.
depends on what part of the country that you're in and what the governors are allowing.
Well,
It's
Braylon's
the red
homeschooled
state.
by choice. I know here in like Florida, like schools are open.
Right.
Y'all don't give a
Everything open in
damn.
Florida. They don't care.
Florida don't give a
I was
Florida
damn.
is
just I was just on
boy.
South Beach last weekend, man. Nobody had a mask on. Like it was like
Nobody.
COVID didn't
You're
even
absolutely
exist in
right.
South Beach.
They
It's
are
crazy.
totally free down
That
here.
just
Florida
blows
Crazy.
my
do
mind.
not
I mean,
care.
I know that you guys make fun of me all the time because you guys know that I'm a big germaphobe and that I just don't get down like with big crowds anyway. But I can tell you that I probably for the rest of my days I'm never going back to what the norm was. I'm probably going to forever and always be masked up. I don't want to be in big groups and everything. I'm not going back. I just
But Allie,
I
you a
cannot do it.
germaphobic anyway. You probably before we started this live, you probably wiped down your screen 8 times just to join the
Oh
live, just to
yeah,
get
I
Listen,
into the live.
know.
we were both supposed to be at her house, and then she was like, "Never mind."
Yeah,
Mind you, she got the
Let me tell
dude
you
there.
something.
I do. But
If
we
you
are
a
social
dude,
distancing. Kenny has his mask on. We are social distancing. I have like been spraying and yeah, I mean it is very sterile in this house. It's like a hospital over here.
Hmm.
I got a buddy that's anti-mask. John. John is anti-mask. I get it. John got 10 kids. John ain't never wore no rubber. John don't like being covered. He don't like that. So he not wearing no mask. I get that. You got 10 kids, bro. You all about mask off. You with your future. Mask off. I get you. But anybody that's gonna be in my circle, you if to come in here, you damn need you need a hazmat suit on to come in my house.
Okay, I feel you,
Oh,
D.
you already see, I was all over social media because I was lysoling people. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they
have
were in
you
this.
guys have
No,
you
it
guys
wouldn't
had
have been
COVID?
you. You absolutely right. It wouldn't have been you because you wouldn't have been here. So,
Have any of you guys actually had COVID yet?
mm-mm.
No.
I had COVID,
No.
and I think that the thing that what COVID does for you once you have it and go through it, I think it desensitizes you to how scared everyone is for COVID. I think that just kind of throws all that away. Especially if you go through it and you don't have any really heavy symptoms. You're not,
So you were
on a
asymptomatic,
ventilator.
Jay?
Huh?
Were you asymptomatic?
Yeah, I was.
Really?
So, but it just took the fear of COVID away from me. I mean, I'm still
But see,
doing the
I know
necessary
people who
things. I don't want
died.
to catch it again. I still wear my mask and all of that and wash my hands, of course. But it's taking the fear of COVID away. It's like I don't think about COVID all the time like I used to before I had it. Because
Mm.
I think
everything I was doing, oh, I'm not, oh, I don't want to get COVID. I don't want to get COVID. But once you get it, man, COVID ain't there. You know what I'm saying? I
I
think it's
think
kind of
people
silly.
Okay, Donald Trump. No.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to be bold or whatever. It's like, oh, COVID don't exist like some of these people. Like, no, like that's not true at all. But I think it just desensitizes you a little bit. It just makes you not afraid of COVID as much as you was
I
before, you experience what it's like to have it.
I think you're desensitized because you are asymptomatic.
Right. And because you came through it easily, but there
Yeah,
are too many people that have
yeah,
lost their lives or have just been,
yeah.
not
Say I
able
know.
to physically function anymore
Yeah,
on their own. So you just need to consider yourself extremely blessed and highly
Well,
favored.
I think it's all on how you take care of yourself. Also, it's like I'm always one. I work out a lot. I run.
Well, yeah,
Take
you're young
it
vitamins.
and
doesn't
you're
matter.
healthy.
There's
So
been people who have
absolutely.
died
But
who are completely healthy and athletic and taking care of themselves. Shit, vegetarians, all of that.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it matters. I think it just it depends on what strain you get. I
Well,
mean,
that and yeah, it does. Health, being healthy
mhm,
is always going to be beneficial in any instance, really. But there have been what 500,000 deaths reported in the United States as of today,
yeah,
and out of 200 of those cases were children, which to me is just extremely devastating. To have I mean, we're all parents here, and we are all extremely blessed, and that our kids are all safe and healthy right now. But I mean,
yeah.
if you really just try to picture that in your head, and if you could physically see maybe the bodies of 200 children, I mean
yeah.
No,
that
I
is
totally get that, and
catastrophic.
it's like I'm not trying to be insensitive to other people. It's like I've had some people not in my immediate family, but I've had people around me pass away from COVID.
Mhm.
So it's like I would never say it doesn't exist or people shouldn't be scared of it, but I'm just saying from my position and what I went through when I battled COVID, it just made me not as scared to get it. Yeah,
Right.
to me it was kind of like the flu. I had the flu before, and it was far worse than what I experienced with COVID. And that's my dealings with it. But other people is different. Like you said, it's different strands, and it attacks people
Let me just
differently.
clarify this, because COVID and the flu are two totally different things.
Yeah, no, but and
Okay.
I've had both of them now, so I know how it was to have COVID and to have the flu, and the flu was far worse for me and my body and the way my body works. It was just far worse for me. So,
Well,
um,
I'm very I did not know that were ever diagnosed, but I am very happy and grateful that you are here, and you need to just definitely
me
consider
too.
yourself extremely blessed.
I
And
do. I
one
definitely
person
do.
that I also want to talk about, who I think, because right now I think Republicans are having a very difficult time accepting the fact that Joe Biden has been nominated the president of these United States. And it is just mind boggling to me that we even have to have this conversation.
I don't think they upset as much anymore. I think
Okay.
the reason I say that is because of what happened. I think they were ready to get his ass up out of there too.
Mm.
I
Well,
think some of them
you're
were,
talking about the
but the
Capitol race.
majority,
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah,
I think
I definitely think that many Republicans were like, okay, this is enough is enough.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
didn't
for,
necessarily
for
want
certain.
Biden, but they were happy to get his ass up out there.
Yeah, I can understand and
Hmm.
believe that to be true. I mean, I think it, is it not crazy? But like this is, I mean, since he has been sworn in on January 20th, has it not just felt a little bit lighter and quiet? You know, I mean, we're not bombarded every single day with a headline or a tweet. You know, it just seems like the nation is, getting a little bit of rest and calm. I mean,
I
there.
think we're
Don't
a
get me wrong.
nation.
There are
I
things that
think
are
I
going
think we're a
on daily.
nation that we thrive off empathy, and that's what he lacked. That's what Trump lacked.
For
He had
sure.
none, and I can't say that. Um, I'm never gonna say that Biden is our savior. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's not like the perfect president, but he's, in my opinion, better than what we had. But
mhm.
again, I think that we feel that way because he's empathetic.
Yeah.
Whereas Trump was just balled out, like, I don't give a fuck how you feel, like it is what it is. He on Twitter, he gonna go off on you if he wants to. He don't care what his title is. You know what I'm saying? And that was embarrassing. But
Yeah.
he was that person that was gonna say like how he felt and not give a damn about anybody else's feelings. You know what I'm saying? Versus we are in a country where we thrive off of um we say that we thrive off of being unified and coming together as one, like, I mean, what, we are the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we thrive off of, and I think that's why a lot of people are feeling that way. But let's not forget, ain't much change. Like, it hasn't.
No,
You know what I'm
no,
saying? Not a whole lot has changed. Like, we still dealing with the same stuff.
Right, but I mean, we do have to give him, I mean, by no means do I think Joe Biden is our savior. I only believe in Jesus Christ to be my savior. But I do think that in time we will see, significant change. I think Joe Biden, I mean, the empathy and things that he's shown thus far to me have been very relieving and very healing, because I was literally at ground zero during 9/11. I could not see the plane because it was so low that hit the Pentagon, but I was living in DC at the time. I saw the explosion that occurred from the plane. And to see things live and in living color, it hits a lot harder. And so the fact that we can't see the 500,000 deaths is, you know, it doesn't really give you the opportunity to really feel it and grieve it the same way as you would had you been there to see it in person. But I'm grateful that Biden is at least, recognizing these people's grief. I mean, there's so many people that can't even bury their family members, or
Man,
give them a
exactly.
hug during this time. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to stay physically apart and everything. But one thing that I do want to say is that, for Joe Biden to have gone through so many traumatic moments in his life. I mean, I think that he is perfect, perfect in the sense of helping to comfort and really get the country to feel, like we do have a chance of officially, kind of coming back together and, being, just a prideful country again.
Again,
I mean,
empathy.
this man has lost his wife, his daughter, both of his sons were hospitalized after the car accident that, took away his wife and daughter. He has suffered an aneurysm, which led to an embolism. I mean, he's just gone through so many things, and to still be here and still, love this country and be wanting to fight for, rights and things like that. I mean, I think it's moving in a much better direction. And I personally just feel a lot, I guess, safer than what I did before.
I hear
Again,
you.
I don't
I'm
feel
glad
the
that he's
need
out.
of
I,
empathy.
I'm glad that he's out of that he is out of office. But my take on this whole situation is, I hear y'all saying that he's more empathetic. This president is a little bit more, in tune with, the fellow citizens' emotions, all this other mess. And my take on all politicians is they all deserve Academy Awards. They're some of the best actors and actresses you've ever seen. For those 4 years, or prior to those 4 years that we're going to grant them a position, elect them into a position, they're telling you all the stuff that you want to hear. It's almost
Mhm.
like y'all, ladies, a dude that's been watching you, and he want that cookie. He been wanting that cookie, and he see you, and he was like, you know what? Let me go and say what I know is going to, stir you up and get you going. And that's what politicians do. They'll say those things in the moment because it stirs up a certain culture, it stirs up a certain group of people. And then once we get all high and mighty about this person, and like, yeah, and we have laid out no plan on what they're going to be doing for the black people. We have no plan on what they're going to be doing for our people at all. But that they always get us riled up on this emotional stuff, and they get in office. And something as simple as this is refuted: reparations. How could you have all these different presidents, and that's just a right that you can easily make wrong? Like,
Hmm.
and it's so blatantly in your face, black people. Hey, we're
Mhm.
gonna get this. We're gonna get this group reparations, and we're gonna get this group reparation, and not one of those groups. And I'm sensitive towards anybody suffering. But what my people have suffered is the greatest suffering that this country has
Mhm.
ever experienced. Period.
Absolutely.
We right
So
here. I mean, Allison, closer to me than even you. The Ocoee massacre. They just aired like a little like show
Snippet.
or interview, a little thing on it last year.
Right.
Just did that. You ask anybody in my neighborhood prior to that if they even knew about it? No. You got kids that are right there at Ocoee Middle School, Ocoee High School. You go drive in Ocoee and they still look at you sideways if you're black. You know what I'm saying? They sat there and stole all that land and still refusing to accept it. The freaking mayor of Ocoee
Yeah.
sits there and he's like, well, it wasn't me, but it's in his family line.
Hmm.
But I ain't do it, so what am I going to apologize for? That's their mentality. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what I'm saying with what Delay is saying. I completely agree. We are we're a little bit more uncomfortable because of the empathy he's showing. But I mean, let's talk about even the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was so black this year, and that was supposed to make us feel better. From the commercials to halftime to America the Beautiful and whoever was singing and all that stuff, right? That was supposed to make us feel good,
Mm.
right? And a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is great." That was a way to look for us to be like, "Oh, things are changing." No, people
things
still
are
getting
not
shot.
changing.
They still
Listen,
get shot. Like people are still not going to jail for it. But that
Mm.
was supposed to make us feel better because it's on TV. And it's like, see, we're putting you on TV. No.
the only president that I'm going to be happy with that ever runs for office is the president that does away with racism in this country. Then I will be excited. Then I will be all go hoorah and all that type of stuff because if you can fix that problem in this country, then we can have real change. That's just how I feel,
Well, you
you
ain't gonna
know.
ever be happy.
Well,
Right.
and that's
America
and that's
was
what it
built
is.
on racism, and it will die on racism.
It's in
Mm-hmm.
the bloodline of this country. It's
Yep.
like that would never ever go away. But so if any president can make that go away, then that would be my favorite president of all time because it's like that's what we got to deal with in order to get real change. And it's like until that situation there with racism is tackled nothing is ever changing in this country. So I don't get excited about, oh, we got Biden in. Yeah, yes, he makes everything look great now. It makes it look like everybody's all together now. But this country is not. And the Capitol riot just showed you that. The Capitol riot showed you how divided this country is.
Yeah.
Trump was able to get over almost 100,000 people to storm the Capitol, and that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So
I don't think anything has really changed. I mean, even that Fair Housing Act, like from what 1960. Yeah, don't get me lying about
60-ish. It's 60-ish.
60-ish. Yes, that's still like that's just a signature on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You talk about credit, and you got black people that might have 750, 800 credit score, and still can't move in the same place as a white person that got a 500.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Just the color they
this
skin.
is
So
also
we
what
have to
I
understand
mean
that
is
respect.
because I hear everything that everybody's saying, and you make extremely valid, great points. But I also think that this, in order to maybe see some change, is the black community and I'm speaking for the black community as a black woman. We have
But
to come back together and
Allie, let me
support
How
and
many times did
promote.
we march? We done walked 100 miles and nothing has happened. We have
Allie,
protested
we
every damn day and
and
nothing has changed.
we've done it. We've done it. We've all come together and we started our own businesses. Look at Black Wall Street. They burned all of our businesses down because they saw that we didn't depend on them, and we wanted to go our own way. We wanted to help our own economy. And what did they do? They burned every single thing down. So it's like we've tried to come together and be peaceful and do all these marches. We got all these Black Lives Matter and all of that. What does it change? It's like all of these protests that we did with Black Lives Matter, you still get people getting shot. George Floyd, they still leaning on his neck and killing him in broad daylight like that. It's like what has changed? And what just because President Biden is in office now, is all of those things gonna stop changing? Is the police gonna stop killing black people? No, it's still going to
And
happen. Because we have not tackled the race issue in this country, and that's why I say until a president tackles that, until a president do away with racism. However, I don't know how that's going to happen, but however, whatever plan that person comes up with, and if it can actually happen, then I'll get excited for this country and say now we're moving in a different way. But until then, I just can't. I just can't because I've seen it so many times. President after president after president. They say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. And none of it gets done because that race factor in America still exists and will always exist because it's in the bloodline of this country. It's what this country was founded on.
Yeah, and I by no means have like all of the answers, and I won't even pretend to proclaim like I do. But
Yeah.
it is heartbreaking to me, Jay, to hear you, to hear what you're saying because you know, I I have a brother who I am extremely close to, and that I just love and adore, and I have friends like you and Delay and a plethora of other black friends that I just love and will ride and die for it.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
have
believe that
all of the
you
answers
brought up
necessarily,
quickly.
but I don't want you to feel defeated by any means. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
And I don't feel defeated. I just feel like I know what this country is about. Like I've lived on this earth for 37 years now, and I've seen no change in that aspect. Yeah, yes, we have with voting and stuff like that. Like females are allowed to vote now, and all these things. Like we're making change. Even gay people getting their rights and all of this stuff. It's like we're making a lot of different changes in this world. But that race factor of this world ain't never changed. And that's
yeah.
why I don't have the confidence, is right. Like, can all of you honestly say that you will see a change in race in your lifetime? Can you honestly say that, or would it be your children's lifetime, your children's lifetime? Like, can
Well,
you
this
honestly say that there's going to be an actual change about race, about how black people are treated in your lifetime? Can we say that?
No, and what I would say to that is I think it's a question for each of us, and I'm going to base it off of our complexion. Because
Hmm.
Allison, the same thing that you have dealt with, I probably dealt with on a much higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the way that you're looking at things right now, even though you may not feel it completely, you probably dealt with a whole lot less than these two have as black men and me as a more chocolate girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I
So
think,
you pick colors, so you can get away with shit.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
but
piss
it's
color over
true.
there.
No.
It's true.
But no, I do, and honestly, I have so many friends of different complexions, and it always offended me. That's it's kind of like when people say red bone and high yellow, it offends me because there is that stigma where a lighter shade is somehow more beautiful or something like that, and that has always offended me to
Girl,
my
this goes
core,
back to
because I
your
think I
sorority.
am honestly, when it comes to men, I am I am like, as black as this pen. I just like chocolate men. I've always been very much so attracted to that, skin tone. I just think it's beautiful. But
So I'm
but
not
I,
dark.
I
I'm not
feel what
dark
you're
enough.
saying for sure.
I'm not dark enough for you, Allie.
You're a little light, but
Yeah,
but
you Carmel.
thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Good and Grown podcast today. Thank you to my co-hosts and my commentators. Um, we look forward to seeing you guys next time, and we will definitely keep you posted on when the next podcast will post. So, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Before we go, the Good and Grown podcast would like to promote Black owned businesses by our segment called Put Everything on Black. This week, I am promoting Kenny Mulford of Orlando, Florida. He is a videographer. He does weddings, he does graphic design, he's thebomb.com. He has done this podcast and so many more. So please follow him. Thank you.